Hi, this is Nick at Atlantic Laser Scanning. Today we've got a road scan that has already been registered. No color's been added. The reason we don't want to add color on a road scan until once we're completely done with our registration, there's a few different reasons. One, when you are using Scene, if you're using Scene for any sort of measurements or anything like that without exporting it into a different software package, Scene can have the tendency, once the photographs are added, to have certain scans that are maybe completely blown out because of too much sunlight. That's something that makes it very difficult to actually see all the data points that you've collected. At the same time, if you're scanning something that may have a lot of nooks and crannies, maybe an interior scan, there will be less light in the shadows. There's still an incredible amount of detail with the laser scan, but you can't see it because the photograph has been added, the color's been added. So that's one of the reasons we don't add the color when we're doing this road scan. The second would be the cleanup. We'll take a look here at what some different options for cleanup. If you've ever done a road scan, you know that it is completely impossible to scan a road without a car coming by at some point. And it's generally right after you started your scanner, and there's nothing you can do about it, and really there's no reason to worry about it. As you can see here in a quick view, all these squiggly marks, those are vehicles that have gone by during the scan. So we've got three different options of how we can take care of this. Our first option, something that a lot of people think would be the easiest, if we're going to delete this out of here completely without using a clip box, our first option is going to be maybe to load the entire, in this case, cluster. And we'll load all the scans. We'll just right click over here, load all scans, and we'll let that build up. Now our project here, or at least this cluster, is loaded. And what a lot of people like to think they can do is just come into this road, and we're going to rotate this, and we're going to just delete all these vehicles off it all at one time. A lot of times that's just not possible. As you can see, we can get quite a lot of this, these vehicles in one shot. We can come up here and we can get a polygon, and we just go ahead and give ourselves a window here, and we're going to get quite a lot of our cars. Now, the thing that you can see pretty quickly is we've got to change an elevation in this road. If we take a look at it, you can see where the road actually is going to curve down. And what that does is, obviously you can't take a straight shot and eliminate all the vehicles on this road because of the curvature, the change of elevation. Same thing can happen if we're looking at it this way and the road takes a curve. There's just no way to do the entire thing that way. And quite honestly, it's pretty sloppy. If you want to highlight this and take it out, because you've got any road's going to have some sort of deviation, and you're going to have squiggles that you've missed really all over the place. It's just not a method that I recommend. Not to mention that it's pretty easy, if you're not careful, to lose a mailbox, a stop sign, maybe further down in the scan project there was a stoplight. Things that you didn't intend to get rid of will be blown out, because as soon as you highlight something, it will literally blow everything out straight back from where you highlighted it. You may lose something that's important to your project. So that being said, another option that we can take to clean this up would be to go in and scan per scan go into our 3D view. Now that allows us to have a much shorter scan distance. We'll go in from the top here, and you can lay this sideways, and you can start using your polygon Make sure you don't touch the top of the road. Right click, delete inside the selection. That did a pretty good job. Now, depending on how well you want to get this done, you can spend a little more time and clean this up. Now, that's better than the first option, but it is not as good as this option, which is just double click, open up a quick view, and you've got your entire street here. Back up, take a nice big swath, and grab a rectangular selector, just drag it across here. This is just like if we were doing getting rid of people in a scan. And we can just drag down here, spin it. We can do a much better job in this small selection. We don't really have any way that we've got any sort of change in elevation. It's just this is probably going to be the best option that you've got to take care of the vehicles in the scan. You would go through and then use your rectangular selector again, drag it over, right click, 3D, and perform the same thing. While this does seem like it's a little bit more time consuming, the results are going to be a lot more reliable. How close you're getting to the concrete in each scan. You're not blowing out something in the background, and you can just get a lot more detail off of the concrete than you would normally. Now, another thing when you're dealing with scans and you've added color, we'll take a look here just as an example real quick before we wrap this up. We're going to go into the old user interface. And in case you didn't know, you can just take the scan number 6, go into operations, down to color pictures, apply pictures to the single scan. You can do that from the main scans folder, from the cluster folder, from each individual scan. But we'll let this build up and add the color to the scan. And you'll see the last reason why we don't recommend using color in before we delete the data from the vehicles passing by. Now, as you can see, all we see is where the vehicles were when the camera was passing by. You see none of the squiggles. You see none of the actual data from the laser that was captured, which is actually the most important thing we're trying to eliminate. You'll never eliminate the vehicle from this view with the photographs, but you can't see any of the data that we're trying to erase. So you can blindly go in here and grab a big section and drag it your rectangular selector across again, go into 3D, and you can see it now. But again, anywhere else in that quick view, you are completely blind when you're trying to take a look at where all this data is. So honestly, it's no big deal to not add the color, and you're going to have a good, reliable way of performing this cleanup. Just don't add the camera photographs right off the bat. Just easier. All right, thanks and good luck.